Hi, welcome to Basics of Autodesk Inventor. This is a little CAD tutorial. We're going to go over the very basics of how to get started with your first part. There'll be some timestamps in the description for everything we cover, but roughly we'll go through sketching, extruding, adding some holes, and then we'll round out some of the corners. And then we'll touch on some of the thought process of how I create a part, how you create a part, and alternate ways we could have looked at it. So here we are on the home page. I've just launched Autodesk Inventor. And most of what I say in this tutorial will also go for Fusion 360, which is Autodesk's other program. But this part is going to be a little bit different. We've got a menu. This new menu is what we're going to want to pay attention to. I have no recent documents. And over here I also have no add-ins and workspaces. So we're going to make a new part. An assembly is a group of parts. A drawing is a 2D representation of a part, and so we can't use those. And a presentation is an expanded view of an assembly. So everything's got to start with a part. So create that. And here we are. First thing you want to do is save your part. You can go to the menu there. You can go to the menu here to save, or you can use your Control S. I will save it. Save it in my documents folder, and we'll call this example parts. And I'm going to make a new subfolder for it. And there we go, nice and saved. And now we're ready to get started. So you might already have an idea of what you want to make, or you might not. You can work either way. But knowing some of the key dimensions at least is going to make the process a lot easier. And the other thing that's going to make it easier is knowing what you're going to do with your design. So it's very common to machine the part and use this model to create a map for a CNC machine, or to put the part in a virtual assembly so you can show it off to people and get a sense of how everything's going to fit together. Or you can just make a part so you can look at it, design it easier, and think about the part easier. We're going to create this small bracket. I've got a rough sketch here. And this is definitely perfectly fine to start with. It's got some key dimensions. There's some holes here. There's a hole in the center. I can kind of grasp what it's going to look like from this, but of course there's a lot of things we don't know yet. So I'll come back here, and every part we make is going to start with a sketch. So we'll use our sketch tool. And Autodesk brings up these three planes, which show us where we're going to start our sketch. The XZ plane, the YZ plane, and the XY plane. And those correspond up here to the navigation cube. You can see if I go to the front view, only one plane is visible. And if I go to the right view, only one plane is visible. So we're going to pick, it doesn't really matter which view you start with, but it'll make more sense to you if things are right side up. We'll go with the XZ plane here because we're building in kind of a flat part. It's mostly in the horizontal plane. And now Autodesk brings us to this, which is a 2D view of our sketch plane. And there's a menu up here with lots and lots of options. And all of these are things we can do inside our sketch to create a two-dimensional shape. Every three-dimensional shape we make is going to start with a 2D one, and then we'll use some of these tools to expand that 2D shape into a 3D one. So you might have noticed I just exited the sketch with nothing in it. So there's nothing for me to click on to edit here, just our little origin point. But what I can do is go to the browser over on the left here, find my sketch 1, and double-click to open it. And that brings us right back to where we were. And some other controls that I'll use here that you should get familiar with is I'm going to middle click, and that lets me drag around. I can use the scroll wheel to zoom in and out. And if I hold down Shift and middle click, that lets me move in 3D space, which isn't very useful here because we're in 2D. So I'll use cube to go back to the top view. So we're going to start with a rectangle, kind of the most basic shape. And you can see it's got dimensions on the side for us. It lets me place this point wherever I want. And I'm going to make it square. And if you remember, our holes are 3 inches apart. So we'll make it a little bigger than that. Let's say 3.5 inches. And I am not going to nail that. So it's kind of close to 3.5 inches, but not really. And you can see that some of our rectangle sides are black and some are purple. And what that signifies is whether or not the side is locked down, is fully constrained. So if I hit escape to exit the rectangle tool, I'm just in the selection tool, I can see that I can just drag this side around, and I can drag this side around. And that's because they're not constrained, whereas these sides, they are. I can't move them. And that's because they're locked to the origin. That's where I started. But these sides are not, and because the length of these is not fixed, I can just move these. So how do we fix that length? Well, we use the dimension tool. Dimension tool is one of the most common tools you use. You can use this button or you can use D to select it. Now what that'll let us do is just add a length to our line. In this case, let's say 3.5, enter. And now this line is locked down. Can't move it. This line I can still move, so we need to add our length here. Again, 3.5, enter. And now we have a fully locked down sketch that is a 3.5 inch square. So we'll finish our sketch. And now let's zoom out, frame it nicely. Now let's make this into a 3D shape. So for this one, we're going to use the Extrude tool, which is the simplest way to make a shape. And what that's going to let us do is we select a closed feature or closed sketch, in which case it automatically selected that one because it's the only one. And now we can just pull it or push it out as far as we want. We can either drag this, we can type it in here, or we can type it in here. In this case, 1 inch is fine. Yeah, let's go with 0.8, make it fun. And then hit OK. And now we've got a 3D shape. You can spin it around in space, get all confused. And you might notice that I just kind of threw out 0.8, and that's because on our drawing, nothing's defined for the height. But the great thing about CAD is that if it turns out 0.8 is not enough, I can go back in and change it later. I can just change that to 1. Okay, and now my shape is 1 inch tall. And the way I opened that is in the browser, you can double click on the extrusion and it'll take you right to the menu that created it. We'll set it back to 0.75 now. So now what else do we have on here? Well, we need 4 holes. Then we have this center thing that kind of comes up with a hole down the center. So let's start by adding those holes. So the hole tool, I can click on it and I could just place a hole here, but that's not very precise, so we'll cancel out. And what we're going to use is a sketch that will give us some points on which to place our holes. You can see our holes need to be 3 inches apart, 1/4 inch in diameter. So let's make some points. I'll make a rectangle here, use D for dimension, make the sides 3 inches. You might see it's still purple now, and that's because, well, we have made the size fixed, we haven't fixed the location, so I can still kind of slide this all over. So we want this location to be centered in here, and you might remember that our big rectangle here is 3.5, so it means 0.25 between each side in this. And because the program knows, it kind of knows what we want to do, we can select this side and dimension between these two. And that's exactly what we'll do. We'll make that 0.25, and we'll make that 0.25. And there's lots of rules about where and how to place dimensions, but in parts that are fairly simple, whatever works for you is fine. So now we come back to the hole tool, and you can see we can select these corners. And that'll let us place these holes very precisely 3 inches apart. And then we also said our diameter is going to be 1/4 inch for the holes. So we'll change this to 0.25. And that'll shrink all 4 of our holes down. And there's some other options in this whole creation menu, there's direction, distance, and the profile, the shape of the hole. We're not going to worry about it. We can create threaded holes. We can create counterbore holes like that. But for now, all we need is a plain hole. And I'm not sure what that's for, but that's what we have in our design. So hit OK. And we've got our holes in here. And going back here, next thing we need is this center block. So the way we're going to do that is just with another extrude, and then another sketch, another hole. And of course, every extrude starts with a sketch. So I'll create a sketch, and this time, instead of creating it on one of these origin planes, I am going to create it just on this face. And that means that whatever extrusion I create will be based on that face. So I'll grab our rectangle tool, and we'll make a kind of a rectangle. There's no dimensions specified, so we'll just kind of make some up that look relatively good, because of course we can come back and change this whenever we like. And we'll center it here. I just happen to know how far it needs to be centered. And there's a sketch. We'll extrude, not revolve, we will extrude this up. Let's do this one 1.5 inches up to give ourselves a little more room to work with. And let's extrude this one 1.5 inches up, just to give ourselves a little more room to work with. And there's some other options in extrude that we can look at. There's some distances, which we don't really need to worry about here. And then we can change these, which will either, this one will create a new addition to our current shape, or we can create a cut where the distance we extrude will be removed from our shape. We can intersect, where anything that overlaps between this and the shape we already have will be kept and everything else will be discarded. Or we can create a new solid entirely that we could just move away somewhere else. But what we want right now is join, and we'll accept that. And now let's put the hole in the side. We'll center that, create a sketch. You can see the origin of our sketch is now at the corner of this, because that's where the base of this, the sketch that created this, is. And we need just one hole in the center. So the way we'll do that is Autodesk has snapping in. So you can see my cursor will kind of jump to the line, and it'll also jump to the midpoint of the line, right there. So now that's locked to the midpoint. I move it straight across. Well, there we go. Kind of snap to this line and snap to the midpoint. So now this line, you notice, comes in already locked down because, well, I locked it to the midpoints of both of these. So it's fixed in place. And we'll place a point, again, snapping right to the midpoint. You can see the dot turns green when I'm there. And that is the exact center of this block. We'll finish sketch, make a hole through there. It automatically selects that point because it's the only point we have. Our hole needs to be 1/2 inch. Change this to 0.5. In this menu, you can also do 1/2, or you can do something fancy like 1/4 plus 1/4. It will accept all of those, and they'll all mean the same thing all the way through. And now we've got our hole. And so this is the shape that was in our drawing. And assuming that the drawing is correct, this would be a functional shape. But let's say you look at this and you think, well, it looks a little bit, I don't know, it's kind of a little ugly, not very graceful, kind of just a couple of blocks. So let's round out the corners. Well, there's a tool for that. We've got the Fillet tool. And what this tool will do is let's select an edge and round that edge out with whatever radius we want. So let's say 0.5. That looks pretty good. And we'll do both of those. We'll hit apply. And this tool it stays open, so we can add more. If we wanted to round these out, we'd say round these to maybe 1/8. So we go 0.125. And we could just follow this all the way around, select all of these, and we'd round out the whole thing. And OK, we'll apply and close the box. There we go. So that looks a little better. But one of the benefits of CAD is that We can go back and change anything we want that we've already done. So there's another way to add these fillets, and we'll do it on these edges here by going to our extrusion. We open it here, and you can see it's based on this sketch, which Autodesk highlights for us in green. And we can double click, open this sketch, and everything goes away, and we're just looking at this. So if I wanted to add little fillets in the corner, well, technically rounds, but fillets, that's what the tool is called. I can use the fillet tool here, select the point, and you see it highlights both lines. And it'll give me a little bit of a preview. Well, I can't quite get that point, so I can also select one line and the other line. And now you can see we've got little rounds there. Close our tool, finish the sketch, and it updates the drawing so that we've got rounds on the corners. And that's one of the major benefits of using CAD, is that you can go back and change any dimension, any location that you need to, which would be quite difficult if you're doing a traditional drawing. So now we've got our little part, and we're finished. But I can't tell you that this is the best way to make the part. With a part like this, it's pretty simple. I think it is. And I think it's, it's pretty likely that there's not a significantly better way. But when you get into more complex parts, you start having to make decisions about how you want to make them. So for example, with this one, we could have made a big block and then kind of, say, extruded this up further. There. Right? Well, this wouldn't be there, but then kind of slice through it sideways to create this shape. Command Z to undo. And we would have gotten roughly the same results. It would have been a little more complicated in this case. But for other parts, that might be the best way to do it. So for some parts, there isn't really a best way. And one of the things that really comes with experience and with practice in CAD is kind of looking at a part and being able to figure out the best way to do it. And in general, you want to do it in as few sketches and extrudes as possible. But, when you want to go back and modify things, sometimes having a separate sketch for each feature can make that useful. So that's where we'll leave it for here. In a future video, we'll go over some of the other tools up here. But for now, that's what you need to really get started, make your first part, and kind of visualize how you would use CAD in your workflow. Thanks for watching.